Get all the talk about the Big 12 and college football playoff. JJ and Alex on your drive home. Afternoons 3 to 6 on 97.5. The KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. It's First and 12 right here on KSL News Radio. That's right. You can hear myself and Jeremiah Jensen on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone every day from 3 to 7. And then, of course, Mitch Harper, Cougar Sports Saturday, Cougar Tracks. He is the BYU insider here in the market that makes the waves, man. So if you want to get any of that, hit up Mitch on social media. You probably already are. But guess what? We got a lot to get into on this segment because this is kind of one of those that we can kind of decide where we want to go, the direction of this portion of the program. And I think that this is a perfect way to go because you have maybe the most tumult that we've had across the college football coaching world in the big Power 4 programs that we've seen. And what I'm saying is that the amount of coaches that are gone mid-season from massive programs, I don't know if we've seen the number like this. The ability for teams to pivot away from coaches and to be throwing money at other coaches at the same time while they're negotiating buyouts with current guys. And you know, if you're at some programs, if you're lucky enough to be at LSU and you have multiple coaches you're paying right now, I feel like Notre Dame is still paying Charlie Weiss. Is he? I don't know. I don't know how far along they are with that. Like, you have to get yourself into a weird spot to be. And now it's less about the buyouts of these coaches losing their jobs. It's about how much they're going to have to pay to leave the current gig that they're in. Guys like Lane Kiffin, who across the country people are looking at and going, man, that guy, he's either going to take the LSU job or the Florida job, neither of which I think you would want if you're an elite coach and you're at a spot where you're earning fantastic money already. And also, by the way, if Lane Kiffin wants to leave Ole Miss, he's got to pay a $4 million buyout, or rather, his new employer is going to have to foot the bill for a buyout for these coaches. And so it's gotten more strange. But inside the Big 12 itself, you've got a handful of jobs that I think people are going to be looking at right now. Obviously, Oklahoma State doesn't have their coach, with legendary head coach Mike Gundy being walked out of the building earlier in the season. Everybody, if you were to talk about beginning of the season, if there was going to be a coach who may be interested in leaving a program, Kenny Dillingham would have never come up. And I don't necessarily think that it's still come up, Mitch. You tell me, though. Is Kenny Dillingham really somebody who could be on, not the hot seat, but could be willing to walk out of Arizona State this year?
I think a program like LSU could make a lot of sense for Kenny Dillingham because I think his personality would fit great down there. Now, they have issues with he's not a Southerner, like, you know, with Brian Kelly. That was a big
came up.
Culture fit. Doesn't work. But I think culture, Kenny Dillingham's awesome. But in terms of fit, there is no better place for Kenny Dillingham than Arizona State. And I hope that he stays because he is awesome for the Big 12. He has activated Arizona State, as we were just discussing moments ago. They're playing consistent. Like, I know 3 losses is not where they wanted to be, and that loss to Mississippi State earlier in the year was a real bummer for the program, for that team. But they're still playing at a high level where they're a top 25 teams back-to-back years. You're in the rankings. You're in the national conversation. That has not been happening for a long time. And what he inherited with Herm Edwards and now to where he's taken it, ASU's got so much promise. I just think that the future of the Big 12, you know, Dillingham brought it up last spring where he said someone's got to emerge as the Clemson of the Big 12. Maybe that's not a great example now because considering what Clemson's become this year, but someone where annually you're knocking on the door of the playoff. You're at the top of the league. You're the team to take down every single year. And why not ASU? I think Kenny Dillingham should stay, but I think a job like LSU could be really tough to turn down because outside of Brian Kelly, that's a place that almost every coach that steps into that program, they win a national championship. Yeah. And I think all these coaches are just so highly competitive and wired that they want to win it all. And if you don't feel like you've got a path and the resources and the cliche alignment to get there, then maybe that raises some thoughts about, hey, maybe I'll look around and see what other spots there could be at.
A national championship at Arizona State's definitely a tougher putt, and that'd be the only argument I think you could make, is to say what you're saying. A guy to leave his alma mater, leave the place that his family grew up and that they're from and all those things. That's a hard thing. On top of the fact that he is young, he bleeds culture. Like, he absolutely changes like places. I'm convinced. And that's why coaches would love him. But the money isn't there. I say the money's not there. The amount of money that they're going to have to get to. Do you know how much Kenny Dillingham makes? It's like 6.5, but then with incentives this year, he'll likely get to that $8 million, 8+. That's elite money already. Now, the elite money, Brian Kelly was making $10 million at LSU. Would you leave 8.5 to go to 10? No. The number that you're going to have to get to if you're going to want to pull Lane Kiffin now, if you're going to want to pull Kenny Dillingham at LSU, you're going to have to be into that Kirby Smart $13 to $15 million range. And you're going to already have to be there if you're going to have to pay the coach's buyout. So the money is insane, but Kenny Dillingham is making insane money. He's not – this isn't the FCS guy that they go, man, we're going to change his life with one quick job. He's making elite Power 4 money already. He's at the top end of the Big 12 already. The question is he going to be incentivized enough from that standpoint? And by the way, the pressure that comes with that is different. It's not just pressure. It's undue expectations. Winning a national championship at LSU, obviously that's the top of what you want. The problem is that you have a toxic way of going about your business at LSU, right? They fired Ed Orgeron with a massive buyout. They fired Brian Kelly with a massive buyout. And now now they're going back and forth. It's a dumb soap opera of like who owes what money. And that guy came in and he was already not a good fit. So whether or not you think that's going to be, just getting a new person in there isn't necessarily going to be the case. And the money isn't the thing anymore for these coaches. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Lane Kiffin can probably command whatever money he wants in Oxford at Ole Miss. And I don't know. He might just want the big stage that you're going to get at LSU and Florida compared to Ole Miss.
I loved on social media on X this week, an LSU fan was trying to generate the idea of Joey McGuire considering LSU, and Cody Campbell of Texas Tech fame, he just goes on X and says, sorry, bub, good luck with your coaching search, but Joey McGuire isn't going anywhere. How awesome is that, by the way?
I love it, because if you're Joey McGuire, you get chills at night and you go, honey, look what I just saw. And he's sitting in that big old Texas bed of his and he goes, can you see this? Brings a tear to his eye. The guy, listen.
I've been watching college football for 50 years. I've never seen a booster do this.
Here's what's crazy, too. Steve Sarkisian this week has had to answer, calls about whether or not he's going to stay at Texas or not.
Yeah, even Desmond Howard on ESPN's going on X saying that.
Don't be surprised if the coach of Texas ends up leaving a vacancy. I'm not saying he's getting fired.
And their AD gets on and tries to do this Cody Campbell thing, but it actually sounded like he just wasn't aware of anything. He gets on there and goes, this is news to me. It almost sounded like he went, this is news to me. Like, I read it in that tone, and it sounds very different. And I'm telling you, Steve Sarkisian, I don't care what you say right now, Steve, because he had to go on there and say, I'm not going anywhere, which is the famous last words of everybody who has left recently from their coaching post. The problem is where do you go from Texas? Like, in terms of like an elite job, where do you go from there? The NFL?
Yeah, I
even
think
that's
NFL,
not elite, I don't think, compared to Texas.
Not the job security that you can get in college football. And then also the one opening right now in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, there hasn't been much. I don't think they're going to get a splashy name. I don't think Oklahoma State's ever going to be that program, but maybe an Alex Golesh from South Florida could be an option.
Who's the Tulane cat?
Summerall. He seems like a guy that'd be great at Auburn. That, to me, like even last night at the playoff reaction, he's like, when he sees that his team is in the rankings,
he goes, we're the bottom 25 most of the time. He's like a total coach who rips his team in half. He decides that this is going to be a good teaching moment when he's supposed to be like taking kudos. But that's the kind of crap that gets like an AD all excited in the South, dude. He's like, we actually suck. To be honest, I don't know why you put us there, but anyway, thanks. It was like the weirdest thing.
He would be great at Oklahoma State, but yeah, that's the job to me that I'm really curious to see what direction they go. It feels like you've had a lot of time. Hopefully they get that finalized here right when the regular season ends to really shore that up and put that recruiting class together. But I just don't know what direction Oklahoma State's identity is going to be, and this hire is going to kind of define that wherever they go with that.
All right. Should we take it a break again?
Let's go.
Let's do it. We'll get right back to it again. We've got the week that is ahead in the Big 12. The games that matter the most. And I don't know if at this point, nobody's having a bye week at this point, are they? Are we done with bye weeks now?
There are a few byes.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, that might be the case. I mean, in a double bye season, you're going to get them every week, I guess. But we'll get into the biggest games of the Big 12 this week, and we'll stay right here. More to go on KSL News Radio. It is 1st and 12.